And this is just a backup, just in case, whatever reason, that darn thing goes haywire. All right, we're live. It is 6/8 of 2017 at 14:04 hours. I'm here with Reagan Gustafson. Is that how you say that?
Gustafson.
I apologize.
Close
And
enough.
we're here to discuss IN 2017-0010. Reagan, are you understanding that you are being recorded right now?
Yes.
Okay, were you advised of your Garrity warning?
Yes.
Okay, did you have any questions about your Garrity warning?
No.
Were you advised of your allegations that are against you?
Yes.
Did you sign that?
That I received it. Yes.
Okay. Did you have any questions about that? About the notification in general?
Not the notification in general.
Okay. All right. We're here to discuss an incident that occurred on June 3rd, I believe, of 2017,
Yes.
regarding some sick time or an off being off request. Can you kind of walk me through either that day or any events that might have led up to that day?
Okay. I have been out using vacation, and you can go back and see I've requested at some point or another most of the days of May and most of the days of June and even some of April. If I get them, I take them to go down and help my family. If I don't get them, I come and work, even if that means missing my brother's surgery like I did, even if it means having to come back for a single shift and then go right back, which I've done in service for the 20th of May. I've been doing that. So yeah, I had requested the 3rd off with a lot of other days I requested off. That one got denied. So I was planning to come back on the 3rd. The reason I've been going down there so much is my brother has cancer. He's undergoing radiation therapy right now.
Okay.
Started out as testicular cancer. They did a surgery for that.
Okay.
It's
We,
now
we,
spread
we
to
don't
lymph
we,
nodes,
we don't
so-
we don't need to go through specifics of medical issues going on with the family member, but
Okay.
just he's got a severe illness.
Yeah.
Okay. So walk me through. You said that at some point you were given the third. You requested the 3rd off.
Yeah, and I don't even remember which batch of days I requested that off in.
But
At some point I had requested it and was denied.
okay, so you knew that you couldn't have Saturday off.
Yeah, for a pre-approved, kind of situation. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I couldn't get vacation for it.
Okay. So what happened the rest of that day? What were you-
Plan on coming back that morning, having breakfast with I stay at my parents', and then my brother lives just down the road. It's in the Springfield area of Marshfield's a specific town, but nobody ever knows where that is. Stay and have breakfast then, was then gonna drive back, get a little bit of sleep, come into shift Saturday night. Was the plan. Before I left, we were having breakfast. My sister-in-law Jenny called, talked to my mom, said that overnight trees had come down blocking their driveway. My brother has a really long driveway out in the country, and it's wooded on both sides, so it was blocked.
Okay.
She's got to be able to get to work. He's got to be able to get to his treatments, that kind of thing. So he was going to try. She was calling us, freaking out, because he was talking about trying to clear it himself, which he's in no shape to do. So we're like, no, Dad and I will go over and we'll do it, because I can't handle the chainsaw, but he can. I can do the rest.
Okay.
So figured we'll go over
About
there.
what time was this on Saturday morning that you went over there?
I think she called us a little before 10. By the time threw on some like work clothes and got the chainsaws out of the shop and all that kind of stuff, it was probably a little before 11 when we got over there, I think. I wasn't really looking at the clock, but something like that. It was still morning. Got there, it's not only one mostly dead tree down, it busted up another one on the other side that's now got a bunch of limbs that had to come down too, because
Okay.
it's all in the driveway. He and I worked on it. First, when we got there, my brother was wanting to try to help. We're like, no, you go inside. Finally got him talked into going inside. And then me and my dad worked on it. So he does the chainsaw stuff. I do the hard lifters. My dad's, do the math, he's 67, had a heart attack over this last year. He survived multiple strokes, and he's on chemotherapy drugs for basically the rest of his life because of the cancer he's had. So he has no more business being out there clearing it by himself than my brother does.
Sure.
And that leaves me. My mom has her own health problems. She's in her 60s as well. Jenny's trying to take care of, they have a 1-year-old. So me and my dad handled it.
Okay.
Still planning, I was hoping it wouldn't take us very long and I could still get back for shift. It's out there working, trying to work as fast as we can. It just took longer than I thought it would. Started trying to tell my mom, wanted to try to eat something, and that's when I realized what time it was. I think it was around like maybe 2:30ish, around there. It's like, crap, there's no way I'm gonna make it back because it's nearly a 3-hour drive
Mm-hmm.
to get back. I'm not gonna make it back for shift. Still got some more work to do, so I called. First called sergeant's office, got no answer. Called front desk, find out which sergeants were on duty, found out Yahtzee was on duty, whose cell phone I have. Called him, told him, look, I'm gonna have to take sick leave for family issue. I'm not gonna make it back in time tonight. He's like, yeah, it'll probably put you down. I get kind of spotty cell service down there, so I was like, looked later on the phone, saw that I had a missed call from, I didn't recognize the number, but it was CPD, because it's like 573-874. Called it back to see what was going on, got Deputy Chief Gordon's voicemail.
Okay.
Left him a voicemail, like, hey, here's my number, I got spotty reception, but I'll try to watch for my phone. He called me back, I think it was, I can check my phone for the exact times,
Is that necessary?
like a little after 4.
Okay.
Told me that he had called in for a family issue. Was like, yeah, I'm down here with my brother, and everything. He told me doesn't matter, family reasons are not an acceptable reason for being out sick leave. As like, people call in for their sick kids, their sick spouses, family emergencies all the time, and his response was, no, they don't. So he told me, gave me a lecture about my duty to the citizens of Columbia, told me I needed to be at work at 5. I told him I physically cannot be there by 5. It's a little after 4. I'm in the Springfield area. And
Okay.
I can't physically get there by 5, and he was saying if you're not there by 5, you're going to be disciplined. So it's like, okay, I'm going to have to take discipline. And I asked him what it was, what it would be, and he's like, well, I'd have to know more about the situation. That's the only time that he let me try to explain the situation. Kept interrupting me, berating me about things that I should have done, and about why wasn't I out getting approval for this beforehand. I was like, I was planning to be back. I've been trying to get approval for days, and haven't been being given them. I only get days off if there's nobody else on my squad off, which for third shift squad's pretty hard because we're one of the bigger squads because it's the rule is by sergeant,
Mm-hmm.
and we have one sergeant for third shift. And I've appealed some of the, asked for help from the lieutenant. He keeps saying he'll work with me, and then nothing changes. So basically, I get off if there's nobody else off. I don't if I don't. If there are, if more people are off or whatever, or if it's a block day or something. So I've been trying, and I've been keeping my chain of command informed of this situation and trying to do things in advance. And he kept saying that I wasn't doing things in advance enough, or I should have worked up the chain of command. And when your lieutenant's saying he'll work with you and basically doesn't give you a final decision, you can't appeal up the chain of command.
Had there been another conversation about having June 3rd off?
No,
after,
not that day
after,
specifically.
After you knew that you couldn't have that day off?
No, the days I'd been really upset about not getting off was the end of June, because in addition to being down there trying to help them, I have to move, because on top of everything else that's going on, I'm losing my place because my landlords won't extend my month-to-month lease anymore. They want a full year commitment. And
Sure.
with everything that's going on, I'm not going to do that.
Understood.
So
When you
That's
spoke
the one
with
that appealed.
when you spoke with Deputy Chief Gordon, did you also mention to him after he said that you had to be at work that that you couldn't do that you were too fatigued?
I said I physically couldn't get there.
Okay.
About the time, the only time I can remember I talked about being tired was when I kept saying, so this is, once I explained the situation and what I was able to get out, so then what am I looking at discipline-wise for this? And he told me to stop getting worked up, and that nothing would be decided until like Monday at the earliest was when things would start, and just stop getting worked up about it. I told him it was kind of hard not to be worked up, given, especially as stressed out as I am and everything else that's going on, and trying to help my brother's family, and my parents are trying to help him, which means they can't take care of their own farm, and I'm also trying to deal with moving and packing and everything else, so I'm stressed and I'm exhausted. That's when I talked about being tired. The only time I can remember talking about being tired, but not that being a specific reason not to come in.
To clarify, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when you mentioned about being exhausted, were you specifically speaking of that day, or?
No, just in general.
Okay,
Just
so,
with everything going on.
okay.
I wasn't saying I was too tired to come to work. The original plan was for me to come to work, but I just.
So you had every intent to come to work on Saturday?
Yes.
And just understand where this is coming from. Do you feel like, after looking back, that there should have been a better way to handle the situation, or your behavior, or your planning of Saturday?
I should have anticipated the would have taken a lot longer, I guess, and maybe called earlier in the morning. And then
Anything
deal
else
with
you
that.
could have done differently in this circumstance?
I was just trying to take care of my family, so that was my focus.
That was your
I
focus.
really,
Okay.
and I didn't think it would be such a problem with work.
Okay. Do you recall ever sending an email to Aaron Hull about how to use your time?
Yeah. Because I was trying to find out whether I needed to use vacation or floating holiday to try to use up my floating holiday or use vacation, because Chad told me, like, he thought floating holiday and comp was paid but vacation wasn't, and I'd originally put in some days as floating holiday just because I'd never touched that bank.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if I needed to switch those over if vacation wasn't going to be paid out if I leave, because I'm in the process with another agency,
Mhm.
to get down there closer. And particularly after this situation, I'm definitely leaving, considering this is what the department's level of support is for my family.
Understood.
So yes, I did ask about that. And I ended up telling Chad afterwards, like, hey, it looks like I don't need to burn a whole ton of time just to get rid of vacation time, stuff like that, because I'm going to pay for anything I don't use anyway. The only thing I don't get paid for is sick leave, and I don't have hardly any of it. I sent Chad a text to that fact when I had to use actually sick leave for a hormone-related migraine.
Yeah. That's not, you're specifically here for June 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all where the focus is in this investigation. Have you ever read the sick leave policy, city's sick leave policy?
No.
You have not? Okay, so you wouldn't have any idea if your brother met the definition of being able to?
No, I called after I talked to you on Monday, and they said that siblings aren't specifically named. It says immediate family, such as includes spouses, kids, and parents, but it doesn't specifically say siblings.
Okay, so you got clarification from who on that?
Talked to two different people in HR. I
Okay,
don't
so
remember.
somebody in HR
I
let you
talked to
know firmly
after
that
Monday.
your siblings would not count in that situation?
They said it usually isn't. They said the person I guess the main person who normally handles that wasn't there. They said, well, it doesn't look like they'd be covered because they're not listed, but it says such as, so that's, inclusionary language rather than exclusionary.
Sure.
So I don't know if there's like wiggle room there because he's immediate family
Mhm.
or not. They asked, well, it says also any relative that lives under your household. It's like, we don't live under the same roof.
Right.
Not anymore, not since we were kids.
So even after you got that clarification, you still haven't read the city's ordinance on
They
it?
just read that one line to me.
Take a look at that and I guess read through the first section there and see if you can find anything that would mean it would be okay for you to call in sick for your brother's illness under your circumstances.
And they don't base that other thing where it says such as, I take it immediate family, doesn't qualify here, so.
And let me be clear, it's a long section, so I'm not holding you to it, but I'm just, maybe you can see something that I might have missed.
I'm trying to skim quickly.
Sure, I understand. I think a lot of it applies on the first page. So, I mean, just initially, and again, I'm not holding you to 100% of this, can you find anything that would allow you to take off Sunday for
I
your
didn't know
brother?
it was that restrictive.
Okay.
Any place I've ever worked for, if it's family, it's family, and there's
Understood.
not.
Understood. So, let's kind of get back into the conversation with Deputy Chief Gordon.
Mhm.
His interpretation, just based on a brief conversation I had with him, is that initially you told him that it was because of your brother. Then his interpretation, you changed it to because you were fatigued and didn't want to come in. So your explanation you gave me to that earlier was it was more he misrepresented where you were coming from. That it wasn't your true reason to be down there and to not come into work because you were dealing with a family member.
Trying to get his driveway cleared after, I've been down there helping with a lot of stuff. I mean, we've been trying to.
Did you tell Deputy Chief Gordon that?
And I told, when I first started, I was trying to explain, it's like, look, this is why I'm down here in the first place. This is why he can't, when this came up, he can't deal with it.
Sure.
We're trying to, and I can't just leave my dad to try to deal with it either.
Sure.
And I kept telling him, I was planning on trying to still make it in.
Okay.
I just didn't know it was gonna take this long.
Did you give him? Did you all have a discussion about, hey, I'm leaving right now, but I'll be there late? Was that ever an option
No, he
for
said
you, or did you
no, it
bring
wasn't
it?
an option. It's like, he'd said, if you're not here at 5, you have to be here at 5, and if you're not here at 5, you're gonna be subject to discipline. So I was like, if I'm getting disciplined either way, I'll at least finish up helping my brother.
Sure. Did you all have and the fatigue came much later in the conversation.
Yeah.
It was more, and from what I heard you say earlier, it was more of a generalized, this situation as a whole, that you're stressed and wore out.
Yeah, because he kept telling me to stop getting worked up.
Okay.
Because I get kind of emotional about this.
Understood. I would too. So you in your mind, you don't think that you were being misleading or providing false information, that it was just more of a misunderstanding about how he was interpreting your motives behind the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think at any point that you neglected your duty to your job?
Not intentionally.
Okay. Not intentionally.
I didn't know that the sick leave policy was that restrictive.
Okay. And I think you kind of already answered this. Failing to participate or giving false or misleading statements, do you believe that you violated that policy?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
What clarifications do you want to make to me about any statements that you made? What do you want to get on record? What questions do you have? What statements do you want to make that you feel that I should have asked you and I didn't, that you feel that can help your cause or help me in the investigation?
Sorry, give me.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm professional.
It's okay.
And it's just,
Trying to make this as safe as I can for you.
it's been a really rough couple of months.
I get it. Everybody in here is dealing with their stuff, I get it.
I mean, I didn't realize the sick leave policy was that restrictive. I was just trying to, what I've been doing the route, trying to still keep my job and take care of my family at the same time. I'm being pulled in a lot of different directions. And I said I was trying so hard to get into work Saturday. It took too long.
Do you in any way think it was poor planning?
It came down Friday night. We found out about it Saturday morning.
Found out about what?
The trees.
Okay. So, in your mind, that was just one of those things you would have been here if it wasn't for the trees.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna be back.
Knowing that you were going to be dealing with a family member that potentially has a pretty significant illness, do you think you should have maybe did a little bit more research about how the sick leave works and asked the right questions? Do you think maybe that was a kind of a shortcoming, or?
Yeah, I guess I should have researched more to. So I said I wasn't expecting to have to take sick leave. I haven't taken sick leave for any of this related to my brother. I've requested vacation.
Okay. And
Is what
when,
I've done for everything. I've used floating holiday for some of it too, just so that there's still
and
some
when did that
vacation bank.
whole thing start again? I'm sorry.
Towards the end of March.
Okay, so you've been incrementally taking off. So have you taken any sick time from March to?
Took 2 days in May, and it wasn't for my brother. It was for hormone-related migraines, and I
Okay.
think which are
Yeah,
worse because of how
yeah.
tired and stressed I am.
We don't want to. I don't need to know stuff, but don't
And that's
go
under
into that.
that's under my intermittent leave.
Okay, so you're
I have
under
an intermittent leave for
with
that.
FMLA. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't. I don't want to discuss that. I mean,
That's
you don't
the
need to
only
reveal
sick
that.
leave I've taken.
Okay, so, but just to clarify, those sick time that you've taken between March and now were not related to your,
Not to my brother.
okay,
I've always requested vacation, and if I get it, I go, and if I don't, I come to work.
okay. And you were off Friday. Friday was your regular day off?
Friday's my regular day off.
Okay,
I was off like Monday through Wednesday before that.
okay,
And then I was off, scheduled to be off Monday and Tuesday. During the conversation with Gordon, he gave me off Sunday because there was nobody off on my squad.
and how
for
did he give
vacation.
you off Saturday?
Or
With-
Sunday, not Saturday.
And he
Sunday.
gave you off Sunday, I know that, but, that's not an issue. How did he give you off with pay on
It was
Saturday?
Saturday, he told me if I didn't make it in by 5, that it would be unpaid and that I would face discipline.
Okay,
And I told him I didn't care about the pay. You know?
Sure.
It's not a factor right now.
okay. So again, is that, you were honest in your conversation with DC Gordon. Have you been honest with me in here?
Yes.
Nothing's gonna pop up that, you know, I found out that you were drinking all day and just nothing like that's gonna,
No.
you know, that your story is the tree things and there's no surprises that if I go down there, I'm gonna see freshly cut trees or.
I can.
Yeah.
After we talked Monday, this is my brother's address.
Okay,
It's 810 Deer Haven Lane.
All right.
He lives on a dirt road off a state highway. That's his driveway.
mm-hmm,
So when something comes across it, it's blocked. I mean, it's not like he can just drive around. I think you could see the houses down there.
okay,
This is part of what we cut.
okay.
The big stuff. We didn't bother to split it. We didn't take the time to do that. I still have to do that another trip when I'm down there. Some of this is old, but this is the,
New stuff?
yeah.
Okay. Can you send me those photos?
Yeah.
Just email them to me.
Okay.
Anything else we need to discuss? What questions do you have? You want to make some clarifications or anything, or you feel pretty confident about how this interview went down?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize sick leave couldn't be used for this.
So it was just, you feel like this was, partly was on your fault and not doing the proper research.
Yeah, not knowing the sick leave policy. I hadn't planned on using sick leave regarding my brother because it was all stuff, like sick leave stuff that comes up last minute. It's
Mhm.
not, you know, we've known he's sick for a while. And so
Okay.
that's why I've always taken vacation for it.
And there's no false or misleading statements that were given.
No,
Just a interpretation about what was being said.
yeah,
Okay.
when I read the allegation, Gordon's version of the conversation, I was really surprised. And I don't.
But that's not how that conversation went down in your mind.
There were.
And remember,
it's
this
kind of,
is
it's
just
like,
a
it's
summary.
just, it's sort of like,
It was,
yes, we
but not-
discussed this, but it's not a changed story. It's all part of the same thing. I'm there because my brother's sick. We're doing this wood because my brother's sick and he can't do it. And his driveway's blocked and he has to be able to get places. You know, his treatment, his wife getting to work. Like, that was the stuff I was talking about. And I don't understand how it went from, oh, I'm totally in a different area with my dad doing wood instead of for my brother. It's like, no, this is all the same thing.
Mhm.
I said the only time I can remember talking about being fatigued is just when he kept telling me not to get worked up, and me just saying I'm just overall, you know, this is what I'm going through. This is
Mhm.
why I'm stressed and exhausted.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm getting a little worked up.
Sure, understood. All right, I'm going to go off record unless you think that there's something you want to clarify, add to the record, or that I didn't ask something you think I should know.
Not that I can think of.
Okay, we're going to go off record here.